everybody, and welcome to Campus Comics Cast, coming to you from Carbondale, Illinois, with special guests from the Campus Comics crew. And now, here's your host, the man with the previews in hand, Mike No.
Everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Comics Cast. I'm the host of sorts, I suppose. Mike No, the owner and operator of Campus Comics, and we are recording this again in the front, right in the middle of the store up at Campus Comics on Main Street in Carbondale, Illinois. Sitting here getting ready to go through the previews. Going to talk about a few other things here as well. And here to join me to do that tonight is
Scott Reed
and Dan Brown.
All right. Before we get started here, I did want to mention that this is the October previews that we'll be going through with product, especially printed material for release in December for the most part. And so if you hear of anything that you are interested in, that you'd like to get us on order for you, or make sure you just get on your pull list, which is easy to start, by the way. Our cutoff date for the order for this catalog is October 25th. So just give me a shout if there is something that catches your ear and you'd like to have added to your pulls, or just come by and pick up. All right. Or before we get started here, actually going through the previews, I'd like to kind of look back a couple of weeks ago was the SalukiCon for 2018. It's the part 2 of the convention that started at the SIU Carbondale Student Center last year. It premiered as the EclipseCon to coincide with the solar eclipse, obviously, but they're going to continue to do it apparently until it's not making money, from what I hear.
I don't think that was a problem this year.
I don't think so. Yeah, but so it's the second year for the convention, and I was impressed, with the attendance and with the just the job done by everybody involved to put the convention on. So I mean, it was a great show. It was well attended as far as I was concerned. I had a good time. I made some money. So everything you're looking for in a convention, I think it was pretty well done. So just kind of a shout out to Vamsi Mann and Nathan Bonner.
Super kudos to them.
Yeah. Great job in putting all this together. And I don't know what. Scott, anything outstanding to you about the thing?
No, just to me it really was a first year convention because the crowd was completely different than what it was last year.
For sure.
So I mean, everybody last year was so scared of the eclipse that they stayed home. Right, everybody local.
Well, I think they were afraid of maybe the traffic. I don't think anyone had any superstitions about the eclipse coming.
But they had talked it up so much about cell tower loss and traffic jams, and
internet going down and selling out of food and gas and everything else.
Everybody was home that was local. So the only people who were there really were people who were out of towners.
Right.
Well, this year, because it was a combination of you had all the locals not scared to come out, and you had Parents Weekend. I think it was a perfect weekend for it. And I couldn't have hoped for a better show. I mean, it was really it was my second biggest show of the year so far.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's they did a great job bringing people in. So
yeah, they had really good guests and everything. Everybody really seemed pleased with everything that was there to offer. And like you kind of alluding to, it was just a totally different crowd because I see what you're saying, because last year, there was a lot of people there, but it was just felt like a lot of people there's air conditioning in here. Let's walk around.
It was super hot last year that weekend, so people were definitely coming in out of the heat, and it was a much more casual crowd, and that's fine. But we want the hardcore locals that are going to be dropping money. When you get down to it.
We got some of those this year,
and there were people that came from several hours, so it's not like it was just people from Carbondale. I mean, I know people drove several hours to actually come and look at stuff,
which is really nice for a second year convention.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So,
and they did a good job with the guests. I mean, I don't care about the Power Rangers and stuff like that. I mean, that maybe attracted some people, but to get, I told Nathan as soon as they announced it, man, Trevor Von Eden was a terrific get, and then Peter Poplaski, hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly. I had no idea about his historical involvement, and just to plug ourselves here, we've got an interview up already with Peter Poplaski, and there'll be an upcoming interview with Trevor Von Eden that will be in the feed hopefully within a couple of weeks. So,
yep. So that was going on. How about you, Dan?
Yeah, I had a great time, working the booth, switching off, helping out Scott's booth, making money for Scott too.
Yeah.
It's our local con.
Right.
This is
Exactly.
this is our town. This is, our regulars coming in, our friends hanging out.
Right.
It's a good mix for us just because of that, because then we see the guys we see on the convention circuit, but then we see our local guys too,
Right.
So that's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
It really was.
We know people that work at this convention and things like that, so it's kind of a unique thing for us.
Right, yeah. Mona Martin and Matt Martin also helped.
Yeah.
And Matt was actually the guy that went and picked Trevor Von Eden up at the airport, got to show him around the town, showed him the store, and everything else, So great job for them too. And as we've talked about Matt in the past, he did used to work here at Campus Comics for years. And but he was part of. It's mostly Mona was actually involved because she works at the university still.
Yeah, Matt just worked his way in there.
Yeah, he did. He just how he is. Just got to horn in there. But no, just a great job to everybody involved, and of course there's just untold numbers of people that were involved, including the student workers.
Yeah.
It is so nice to go to a con and not have to haul all that stuff yourself. Because you kind of throw it up on the dock. The student workers put it on a cart, take it up to the second floor for you. So yeah, you can get spoiled doing that.
Yes, big time.
And I bought some books from Scott this time.
Right. Excellent. All right, so we talked about that con, which was the 29th and 30th of September, the 2-day con. So let's just look forward to the end of this week. This Saturday is the next convention that myself as Campus Comics and Scott as Berg Comics will be set up at, and that is the Paducah Galaxy of Heroes con in the Traders Mall.
Yeah, it's really a little south of Paducah. Yeah. I think it's at exit number 16. So it's this Saturday. So it's a little bit of a drive outside of Paducah. But they've already started the setup. They've got one room set up. They're getting the other room ready to go. So it's going to be 2 rooms. I don't know. I've heard like 65 maybe vendors that are going to be set up at this. Now it's going to be there's going to be a large cosplay contingent for sure. The people who are putting on the show, that's their thing. It's cosplay. Lyndall Johnson and Mona Little. They're kind of the main people behind this, and that's their thing. So it's going to be a strong focus. But there got to be lots of comics and lots of other geek-related stuff. So I think it's going to be a pretty good show. Yeah. Not any celebrity-type people, but some local artists are going to be there as well.
And that's great. And they're doing it's first-year con.
Yeah.
And they're doing it right. There's no admission fee, so come on out, check it out. You get in for free, so it's not going to cost you anything out there. If you don't want it to, if you just want to come and look around, it's not going to cost you to get in. Hopefully you get in there and find something you want. But yeah, come out and join us. It's 9 to 5.
I don't even remember the times.
I think it's 9 to 5 on Saturday. It's just a 1-day show. So come on out and join it. And speaking of that, I'm going to be down there, but the store will be open, and Dan will be here. So
I'll be holding down the fort. So
that's right.
Go to the Paducah convention, but if you can't, or on your way back, stop by the store. I'm gonna be bored.
Yeah.
Stop by and say hi.
I'm sure he'll do just fine.
If I haven't burned the place down by then.
You've made it this far, surely.
Yeah, surely you can do that. But all right, so with that all said, and hopefully see some of you all on the. I know we are. There are several people that came in to pick up their books today, being Wednesday. We're recording this, of course, for New Comic Day. Several people as they left, including like Josh Hines and stuff. Some longtime friends. They said, "Well, see you Saturday," and knowing that I wasn't going to be here, so they knew. So
they're going to be surprised.
Yeah. So their intent is to come to the show. So it should be pretty well. I'm really hoping it's well attended and it's a success for them.
I do too.
So. Alrighty, well, let's get into the previews then.
So DC.
Okay.
Yep. So am I dismissing it, or are they not promoting any Black Label books in this catalog? Are any of these books considered Black Label?
I don't think so. I don't think Black Label will necessarily be a regular thing.
Okay.
I think they're kind of earmarking that for special high profile projects.
Gotcha.
I bet nobody else is ready to go if I had to guess.
Okay.
Because you got Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. working on a Superman book. That's going to be a while before we see that.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, and the second issue of Batman Damned has been pushed back to I want to say it's early December, and I don't think it's in this catalog because it was previously solicited.
Right.
But I'm going to bet there's going to be gaps where we don't see any Black Label books.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was surprised there wasn't even like a collected edition that they were reattributing to Black Label.
Well, they're doing that with White Knight, but I think they've already solicited that.
Yeah, that was last month. Yeah.
But they have said plans for like Kingdom Come and Dark Knight Returns. They'll do that with.
Oh, they'll do that in Black Label.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's kind of like Elseworlds. If it's some of that stuff they're kind of doing.
Sort of,
some of
probably.
Black Label.
But I think it's also books of a certain caliber too, if I had to guess.
Gotcha. Oh, with creative teams and that kind of stuff. Okay, gotcha.
So starting off on page 1, we've got Batman Who Laughs #1 by Scott Snyder and Jock. This will be nice because we don't see a lot of interior art by Jock anymore, so I'm kind of looking forward to what this could be. Again, this is a 6-issue miniseries featuring what seems to be the breakout character from Metal. I'm going to get this because it's Scott Snyder. I'm not as pumped about the Batman Who Laughs as most people seem to be.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of it myself. Yeah. So.
But, if this is going to be like a horror-edged book, that's Snyder's strong point.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's a good fit. And, of course, he did create, or co-create the character.
And his run on Batman was like the sole highlight out of New 52, right? So there wasn't a whole lot good that came out of New 52 other than Scott Snyder's run on Batman. So
I don't know if I'll agree with that, and I think that'll come up later in the catalog too.
Oh, really?
We'll get to that, I think.
Okay.
Right after that, we have
page 2,
Batman and the Outsiders #1 by Brian Hill and Dexter Soy. This seems to be spinning out of the story they did in Detective about a month ago. Yeah, we've got a new team of Outsiders with Black Lightning and Signal and Orphan and Katana and stuff.
Now, the Dexter Soy, is he the one that worked with McGinnis a lot?
I think so. I think he was his inker.
Yeah.
Well, they needed to find a place for Black Lightning in the current DC universe, especially with the success of the TV show.
Yeah, to have a TV show and not have a book is pretty silly at this point.
So this will be his home for a little while, I think. So that's a good. I guess it's a good. Well, hopefully it'll be a good fit. So
yeah.
Page 3, we got Freedom Fighters #1. So I kind of view this as DC's answer to The Man from High Castle, the Philip K. Dick and Amazon series that had a lot of success. So this is kind of like you have Freedom Fighters in a Nazi-occupied United States. I think it's set in the future from the original Freedom Fighters. So these are like maybe offspring of the original Freedom Fighters for this. But it's Robert Venditti who is doing Hawkman right now because he did the Surrogates, right? Is that
I think so. Yeah, so if you hadn't asked me, I'd be
I'm pretty sure he's the guy who did the Surrogates, so he's picking up another book. So that concerns me because he's getting another Kevin Smith type thing where it takes him forever.
He's off Green Lantern though too now.
Oh, okay.
So Morrison's coming on to Green Lantern. So
I didn't realize he was on Green Lantern. So I just knew he was on Hawkman. That I knew.
So I think he'll probably be okay. I think it's also DC's answer to we need to retain this copyright and trademark. So we got to come out with a Freedom Fighters book every 7 years or whatever it is.
Page 4. Okay, so page 4 we got Goddess Mode #1. This just appeals to me, working IT. So here we have an IT technician who is doing tech support for an all-powerful AI. So I don't know. I just think the premise is a little humorous. And then on page 5 we got Martian Manhunter. For any of the Martian Manhunter fans out there, he's getting a new 12-issue limited series. So something to look for there.
I don't know. I think. Touting this as in the vein of in the tradition of Mr. Miracle, Steve Orlando, is he any Tom King?
It's a bold statement. You know what I mean? Right, we'll see.
Probably in the means of like off center of what you're expecting from a Martian Manhunter, but we'll just see if it's.
Maybe he's got a good take on it. We'll see. Yeah. Riley Rossmo doing art. He did the Batman Shadow crossover.
Oh, okay.
And he did it might have been the Batman Who Laughs special before during Metal. He might have been the one that did that, I'm thinking.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I think he's got an interesting style. He might do something cool with the shape shifting and things like that in that book.
Gotcha.
Because if you don't have something unique with Martian Manhunter, don't waste my time.
Right.
Really is what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Page 6, you got New Talent Showcase 2018 #1. So if you're the person who likes to see some of these artists like their first, professionally produced work, at least at one of the big 2 publishers, and this is something that you might want to check into, though I don't know if I want to spend $8 to just maybe look at somebody's new art.
That was kind of my issue with the last one that they did. It was also $8. I'm like,
bit steep.
Yeah.
I'm on page 11. So okay, so page 11, continuation of Tom King on Batman. We'll probably continue to mention this, and then you have basically looks like a team up with the Penguin. So Yeah, and on one issue, he's teaming back up with Tom King is working again with Mitch Gerards, of Mr. Miracles, right?
Yep.
On page 20, we've got Detective Comics number 994. Again, creeping in on that 1,000, and we only have one issue this month, so it looks like they might be pumping the brakes on the bi-weekly on that.
Make it last till May.
Are they timing it for an 80?
Yeah, they're timing it for the 80th anniversary. We've also what else I like about this is we've got Peter Tomasi and Doug Monk working on this book, so I think we'll get some good stories leading into 1,000. Mm-hmm. And if I had to guess, I would say they're going to be the team that will be on issue 1,000 now.
Backing up to page 19, Deathstroke still in Arkham. Christopher Priest writing. Looks like he's going to match wits with Two-Face. So the interesting cover on that issue.
I did jump forward to 21, which is, the issue number 4 of The Dreaming, which is one of the Sandman Universe books. I did have somebody that's picking those up. They wanted me to make sure everybody was aware that those books are not separate. They are tying into each other. So it's just like one, I think it was like House of Whispers or something like that. He said that directly picks up after one of the other issues of one of these books. So if you're not getting all those books, you may at least want to give the others a look to see if the stories
or just buy them all. It's no
there
big.
There you go. Yeah,
just pick up some more funny books.
Yeah, that's
add them to your pull list.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that for anybody that's reading part of it. It may be missing some story, and that's because it's in one of the other titles.
On page 33, we've got the solicits for this month's Nightwings. I don't really have a lot to say about this, but right here they're showing the cover image, and it says not final cover. And I kind of like this. I kind of hope this is the final cover. This is a really kind of nice, moody shot of him standing by like this giant bird statue on a rooftop, and a quick glance looks like he has these gigantic wings. It's pretty cool cover.
It's actually.
I kind of hope they don't change too much on this.
Right.
I might pick it up just for that cover.
I don't think until 50. So.
Okay, on page 35, we've got Red Hood Outlaw, number 29. We've got kind of the new costume here for Red Hood, but we have this gigantic silhouetted figure behind him, which I'm assuming is the Hulk. Yeah. I'm just going to guess. I don't know who else that would be. So, there's that. On page 49,
yes,
we've got the DC poster portfolio for Stanley Art Germ Lau. So it looks like this is a collection of, I would assume, some of his covers he's done and different things.
Right.
And
this is a 12 by 16 inches. So nice perforated, so you can tear them out easily.
Yeah, see, that was the thing. I'd assume portfolio would be like a folder or something and have the prints in there, but I guess this is something you actually have to, I assume, perforated pages. So I don't know. Are people going to want to take that apart, you think?
I don't know.
Should people buy 2 of that, Mike, so they have one to keep and one to display?
That, you know me. I'm good with that.
So it says 42 pages. But it says includes over 20 of his covers. So I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. Yeah, but he couldn't be any hotter right now. His variants and everything else are just people are snatching those up. So here's a chance to get some. I'm assuming, virgin art of his. Without anything printed on it. Just some nice images.
Yeah, they do announce at the end here that they are going to do some others of who's the list? Jim Lee, Frank Cho, and more.
Yeah.
So I'd assume if there's a high-profile DC artist you like, they'll be doing one of these.
Right. Yeah, their variants are really killing it here lately too, and the foil books that are coming out this month we were talking about, they're really nice.
Page 50, we got Absolute Swamp Thing by Alan Moore, Volume 1. So if you missed this story one of the other times that it's been reprinted, here's a chance. It looks like it's a little bit of oversized treatment as well. So a little pricey at basically $100, but man, this is a solid story. If you have any interest in Swamp Thing at all, then you probably need to have read this at some point.
Yeah, because read it, and it may not be the way you get it to read it. You know what I mean? Right. But the people that are fans of the story will probably want to pick this up.
Because absolutes are like the size of the original art, right?
Yeah, they're close.
Typically.
Yeah,
it looks like what did it say? It said it was 8 1/4 by 12 1/2, so it's a little smaller.
It's a little smaller. I feel like my absolutes I have before are bigger.
Yeah, I mean they're bigger than that, and they're probably at least 18 inches.
Maybe they're shrinking it down.
Maybe,
or maybe it's a typo.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess in December.
Yeah.
On page 53 in some of the collections, we've got I just thought this was interesting. We have a collection of the Batman Troika story from the 90s, which introduced Batman's quote-unquote new costume, basically just dropping the trunks is all they did back then. but it collects that story. But then it also has Nightwing, Alfred's Return, which I think it was around Nightfall or the aftermath. Alfred took off for a while. This is a story of him coming back. And then there's Batman Vengeance of Bane 2.
Okay.
I mean, I read all this stuff when it came out as it was coming out. I don't really remember how well those stories are connected.
Yeah.
I feel like they maybe wanted to do a Troika trade and like, hey, let's throw these in here too.
There's not enough there.
Yeah, it's just kind of odd, but there's some decent stories.
Yeah.
In there that have been out of print for quite a while. Yeah. So if you want to,
$20 for 224 pages is not bad.
Yeah.
My next thing's not till 62. So.
Okay, on 55 we've got the Dark Knight's Metal trade paperback, and up here they're saying includes 2 issues not in the deluxe edition hardcover.
So how is it deluxe?
Yeah, how was it not? How were they not? First off,
right?
And why are you including them in this trade? Wow. It's kind of like a double dipping money grab kind of thing.
That's weird.
On 56, we have an interesting collection.
Yeah.
Detective Comics before Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the first 26 issues of Detective Comics, which most of them have been out of print since they were published, I'm assuming.
Right.
I know the Detective Comics 1 had a reprint one time.
Yeah, they did like a Millennium edition of that and some different things. But like, I don't think anything else has since. Who knows? Maybe some Crimson Avenger stories or something in there.
Right.
But
we got 2 hardcovers and a slipcase.
Yeah, and again, this is on sale till March.
Oh wow!
Too, so they're probably going to gauge interest in this, how many to print. Yeah. This is something I will probably pick up just for the historical, aspect of it, and they probably won't ever print these again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because I mean, the real hook on this is something that's not in there.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of the thing.
Why does everybody associate with detective?
Yeah. So. I don't have anything else for a while.
Well, so 62, we get the re-solicit for the Mr. Miracle trade paperback. So if you missed this the first time around, well, you're lucky. They canceled the first one, so now they're re-soliciting. Hopefully this one will actually ship in December. Crossing my fingers. I suspect it's going to be a little bit later than that, right? Mm-hmm. But hopefully... it says January 16th.
Yeah, I thought they had something in there.
Yeah, so hopefully this one will stick, and we won't have to order these again. And I'm so looking forward to reading this and talking about it. I've read the first issue.
Me too.
Yeah, the first issue.
I read the director's cut of the first issue.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good.
That's it. So we're all on the same page, I guess, with that.
But I'm really looking forward to it. Though I have like I said, I've said this before. I've got a huge beef with the kind of the setup for this thing, and then I'm sure I'll be fine with it after that. But I'm looking forward.
Issue?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the premise. I have an issue with some of the premise of the first issue, so I'm looking forward to talking about that.
We'll find out.
Yes, spoiler, teaser, whatever you want to call it. So that's all I had in DC. So you guys can finish out DC.
All right.
Well, on page 69 here we have Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang omnibus. I think this is one of the more well-regarded runs of the New 52. Was their Wonder Woman run, and so. This collects all of it, it looks like, and then some, probably her origin from Secret Origins #6 is in there too. So I know some people that are fans of this, and I've read most of this, but not the entire run, and it's a pretty good Wonder Woman run. So maybe check that out, and I think that it doesn't come out till May.
Wow.
So, and I don't think...
Advanced.
Yeah, not like the Wonder Woman movie isn't until like... late next year, right?
I'm not for sure.
I want to say it was like November next year or something, maybe. So they're not really timing it with that, unless I'm mistaken on that.
Well, at least it'll be on the shelf.
Yeah, it'll be out.
So, yeah.
But you would assume if they're pushing it that far, it'd be because of something like that.
Right.
So I think that's about it for me.
All right. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff in the, some of the statues and everything in the back of the DC book here. They got another one of the, the metal characters, the Dawnbreaker, the Green Lantern mashup of that, and we got some nice action figures. Second part of the Bat Family multi-part statue. This is the Batgirl. They teased, last time with just the silhouettes and everything. It kind of surprised me, that it's the current version of the costume, which just happened, just like an issue or two ago.
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago, basically.
Yeah, so it's just like, all right. So they're doing that. There's another real nice, the DC CoverGirls Wonder Woman by Joelle Jones statue. This has been a really nice line. Decent size, not the, just smallish statues like the Harley red, white, and black, but they did a Catwoman and a nice Harley by Joelle Jones, and these are really nice statues, and this is a pretty classic Wonder Woman, with the lasso of truth kind of wound around her legs. It's pretty nice. Not in a, S&M kind of way like some of the old, but it's just kind of flowing around her legs. But I guess that's about it for me on DC too.
And as always, I'm leaving my copy of DC Previews for anybody who just needs a copy of DC Previews.
Gotcha.
So Mike has at least one extra.
Behind the counter.
Yep. So you can just come in and ask for it, and it's yours.
All right. Yeah. So
Marvel.
Marbles.
So page 1. Apparently, Cable's going to die, or he's already died, or he's in the process of dying. Spoilers.
If only there was time travel.
Yeah, a death in the family. I've never heard that moniker before. Nobody's ever used that. No, never. So, moving on.
Yeah.
Page 2. Who wants to read? Who wants to read it?
Here we go. I think I posted this on Facebook.
Yes, you did.
So the wedding that's been years in the making. Ben and Alicia say I do. Of course, it's Alicia Masters and Ben Grimm of FF fame. But the first lines in the solicit: no bait, no switch, not a dream, not a hoax, and we swear not a single scroll around. So,
so it's not going to be like Johnny's marriage,
right?
Where he married a scroll, right?
Yeah. And it's not going to be like Batman's marriage, where there wasn't one, or it's not going to be like Kitty and Klaus's marriage, where they switched it to somebody else.
Yeah.
They say,
"We'll
see."
We'll see.
I think this one has to happen.
Oh, it's got to be.
This one has to happen.
Why do you, if it's not? Why do you bait and switch this one?
Right. Yeah. There's no point.
And these two characters have technically been married before, because like Earth X. I mean, they were married in Earth X,
right.
So it's not like this is unheard of. But for those, here's my pun for the day. So I know people who collect wedding covers of comic books. Mm-hmm. So if collecting wedding covers is your thing, then there are several covers available for you. All right. I'm sorry. I couldn't let it go.
And getting to the covers, we've got this remastered Jack Kirby cover here with the thing I really like.
Yeah,
and I know this was a pinup from back in the day in an old issue of FF, sort of recolored and repurposed here, but I really like that. Where he's got the Acme mine detector checking out a mystery package from the Yancey Street game.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of this Kirby remaster variant, just a little humorous aside today from one of Diamond's infrequent mistakes, but I was supposed to get the copy of the Kirby remastered variant today. They left it out, but they accidentally in its place sent 4 issues of Zombie Tramp. Yes. So it's like I called my rep and it's just like, don't think this is a fair trade. 4 issues of Zombie Tramp for a Kirby remastered variant. So supposed to be making that right. But anyway, speaking of Art Germ, there's a nice variant cover of this, the wedding special #1. It looks like She-Hulk.
Yeah, She-Hulk.
Who's apparently being powered up to be stronger than Hulk.
Well, she's basically, for a while, was the replacement Hulk, I think. Yeah. So,
I guess in the Immortal Hulk thing, I guess, they're like, she's stronger than Bruce.
Yeah. And then there's the Fantastic Four wedding special. Absolutely. So another, wedding cover for those who like to collect those. I just noticed that
oversized vinyl poster by John Byrne. That's really nice.
Yeah, and it's pretty oversized too. Yeah. What is it? It's like
66
by 44.
That's almost.
It's not quite 6 by 4.
5.5 feet. Yeah, by 4. By 3 and 8. Yeah. But it's big.
I kind of hope, being that big, I kind of hope they recolor it a little bit than what we have here, because it's probably closer to how it originally looked. But I want more detail in the colors if you're going to make something that big.
Right. Yeah.
There's also a nice Alex Ross variant cover too.
All right.
Page 10.
Well, page 8 and 9. Yeah, we've got the Fantastic Four True Believers, which are focusing on the villains of the FF. It looks like. I like these. I think it's cool, but I think I already have reprints of all these.
Yeah. None of these really jumped out at me.
Yeah, so. But again, they're $1. Yeah. If you're interested in some of these, check them out. We got the first Skrulls, Puppet Master, Super Skrull, I think who else? Oh, Claw, is in there.
Ronin's in there. Yeah.
Blastart, Dragon Man. Everybody needs to know about Dragon Man, I guess.
But no Impossible Man first appearance. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, I don't think Impossible Man gets the love he deserves as a character.
Page 10, we got X-Force #1. So coming out of the alleged death of Cable, right? So we get a new X-Force team, You do get Rob Liefeld drawing a variant cover where there is at least one pair of feet on the cover. So at least the artwork that we have so far.
A little odd looking in the ankles and short on the toes, but
still that's
Rob Liefeld trying to do.
Hey, don't feet shame Rob Liefeld.
I'm sorry. I know he's got a complex about that. No, doesn't he? I think he does. He's just like, no, it's just a block. He said I can't get past it.
Yeah, so page 12. I'm surprised it took him this long to do this.
That's not the last time we're going to say that on this podcast either.
Yeah. So we get a Killmonger 5-issue limited series. For those of you who are huge fans of the movie, there is a photo cover variant of Michael B. Jordan for one of the covers. I would suggest picking that up. Of course, they're basically completely redoing Killmonger's history. So you can forget about anything that was established previously by Don McGregor or any other creators. Related to Killmonger, but it's much more in line with what you see in the movies. So I don't know if it'll be. Of course, I guess really Marvel isn't too terribly worried about continuity anymore.
Right,
so,
not at this point.
My next thing's not till 16. So
that Defenders.
Yeah, Defenders. So it's there. I'm not really super stoked about this or anything. But you're getting the Defenders back.
Oh, yeah, the actual Defenders.
So several one-shots of each of the main 4 Defenders. And then, is there a one-shot? I guess it's another one-shot. I don't know if it's, a one-shot Defenders, the best defense. Yeah. So I guess it's 5 issues. 5 one-shots. So if you miss Defenders, it's kind of weird because they just were using Defenders' name with the Marvel Knights teams, and now they're taking it back over for the traditional Defenders team. So do with that what you will.
Right.
They're bringing back Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So there's that. I like that run.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know.
Right. Crystal Cage, who was it? Slott wrote the last one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Slott and Spin.
Yeah,
Dick Spencer.
He did the Superior Foes.
Yeah.
Superior Foes. That's right.
That was a solid book. Though.
Yes, that was really.
That's
good
not
book
Sliding Superior Foes. I really like that book.
Yes, no, that's a good book.
After that, we have Miles Morales Spider-Man, new series of Miles, and again, you definitely want to get this going before that movie comes out. I don't know how interested I am in this, but there's a really nice Brian Stelfreeze cover here.
Oh, yeah.
With him with just sort of the city behind him. So,
loved his covers on the Batman stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Where we got Alec Baldwin, Bruce Wayne, as it always should have been. Yeah, that's how he drew him. Yeah.
A lot of Spider-Geddon stuff.
Yep.
What I noticed was the Spider-Geddon Handbook, which is says it's the return of the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. And it looks like it's going to be profiling all these alternate world Spider-Men that we have. So I might pick that up just to have a guide to kind of go through it, so I know who all these Spider-Men are anymore. I'm getting too old to keep up with all these
Spider guys.
You can't.
Spider characters.
I'm at 34, so. All right, so 34, not actually buying any of these, but sometimes the Infinity Warps are kind of interesting. So we got 3 new characters, 2 characters and a new team of characters. So you have a mashup between Emma Stone and Wolverine, who is Diamond Patch.
You mean Emma Frost?
Emma Frost,
or
yes.
Emma Stone in the Marvel
I'm
Universe?
sorry. Yeah. That's like 2 times in a row I've gotten names completely wrong.
I mean, if Emma Stone's in it, I'll pick it up. Whatever.
And then you have Kamala Khan and Kang, who gives you Kamala Kang.
Of course it does.
And then you apparently have the offspring of the Punisher melded with Power Pack, so you have the Punisher Pack.
Yeah.
Now I'm guessing about the offspring thing, but they're the Punisher Pack instead of the Power Pack. So I thought that was a little crazy. So.
Today on the shelves is the what if Peter Parker became the Punisher, so it's the Punishing Spider is what they're calling the character. Yeah.
So is that a news story or is that a reprint of
an
old
one? No, it's a what if that's brand new.
Brand new. Okay, so I hadn't heard of that one before. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I got on page 50, we've got Marvel's Avengers Untitled Prelude #1. I'm assuming this is untitled because they haven't revealed what the name of the next movie is yet.
Yeah. Backing up to 47, you've got the final issue in Ta-Nehisi Coates' first arc on Captain America, so issue 6.
Been solid?
I've still only read the first issue.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll review.
Yeah, how long has that been?
Yeah,
and I have them just sitting there waiting to read. I just haven't gotten around to them yet.
Gather up, get a chunk of them together. I get it.
Yep. So I'm they're in my to read pile. Let's see. My next thing's 62. So
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we'll go ahead while I'm getting there.
I don't know what's going on necessarily in this story, but if Punisher either takes out Hydra or controls Hydra, I'm kind of down for either.
Mm-hmm.
They've been teasing at this for a while that he's going to be dealing with the ramifications from Secret Empire.
Yeah,
and I've been still reading the trades on the Punisher, and they still haven't really done that yet in any of the trades that I've read. So I'm assuming that they're still dealing with him from that fallout, because he was kind of a stooge for the Secret Empire, and he apparently, didn't like being played a stooge.
Right?
So.
Who does?
Do they still? Do they still play up the thing that kind of got into with for a while? Is Frank hero worshiping Steve Cat?
They do that every once in a while. It depends on the writer.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was a thing, and that's kind of
and that probably was part of the reason why he was basically the fake Cap's hitman. I mean, basically what it boiled down to.
Mm-hmm.
But you have different writers who have different takes on the Punisher. I prefer the writer on the Punisher where Frank Castle is actually the sanest man in the room, not the ones that make him insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my take. I mean, there have been issues like in Civil War where Steve Rogers just said Frank Castle's insane, and that's not the Punisher that I like to see written. So far here recently, the story arcs that I've been reading, it's a malicious or a very vengeful Punisher, but he is, he's not insane. So,
Right.
And hopefully they'll keep that going. So, page 63, Ta-Nehisi Coates, still on Black Panther, still also one of Marvel's other really, really good books. 71. Okay, so we have I had to write down, I always forget what this acronym stands for, the Marvel Premiere Graphic Novel. So this is the first prints of these digital Iron Fist stories. I didn't know that these even existed, so I was not aware of these at all. So if you've been wanting a good Iron Fist story, maybe this will be it. If not, go back and get the Matt Fraction stuff.
Yeah, Immortal Iron Fist. Ow.
On page 85, in sort of the Star Wars section, we've got Age of Republic, which is like a bigger sort of crossover-ish kind of thing they're doing with a bunch of specials. And we have a Darth Maul #1 and a Qui-Gon Jinn #1. And what I kind of noticed on these is they have variant covers featuring the concept art of these characters from back in the day. Cool. If you have the art books from the Phantom Menace, you'll have seen these drawings already, but I thought it's kind of cool they're reusing them here for variant covers with these stories. I hope they kind of carry that over into some of the other ones they do. And on page 92, we have Darth Vader #25, which it doesn't look like it says this in the solicit, but I've heard that this is the last issue of this run.
Yeah.
This is the first run, go 25 issues.
It was something like that, yeah.
And it does say finale. It says Fortress Vader finale.
Well,
but
yeah,
is it the finale of that story?
Yeah,
or the finale
that's the thing.
But I think it is wrapping up. That's what I've heard, too. Wrapping up this series.
And you would think someone like Vader would be a little more wary around lava, considering what he's been through, but
got a history.
Maybe he's working through it.
My next thing's 108, so...
I don't know what page my next thing is on because they don't have page numbers here. I guess I'm 96-ish or so.
Yeah.
We've got a Hobgoblin statue coming out. It looks cool. I don't know about the timing of this. Is Hobgoblin in demand again right now, or?
I don't know.
His first appearance has gone up. So it's I've had I even had like a fairly low grade pair that I've seen get $50-$60, and I had a higher grade set, go for $100 for those first two issues. So. Apparently there's rumors, at least. I don't know if he's going to maybe be into the Spider-Verse or have anything to do with that. I doubt it, but there's been some renewed interest in the Hobgoblin. So
supposedly the next movie villain is supposedly Mysterio, right?
Think so.
Supposedly. So I didn't know. Maybe they introduce the whatever. It seemed like they'd go Green Goblin for the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, and then there's the Marvel Comic Gallery Black Cat PVC diorama. And it's her sort of crouching on a safe that's open, but the safe has Spider-Man's face on it. And I was kind of thinking, was he kind of projecting that spider signal light thing? But it's like it's not on her hand, which is clearly on the safe. So I don't know if she just found Peter Parker's safe that he painted up with his face on it, or I doubt there'd be that much money in it. But
well, it's probably because nobody realized that she was first appeared in Spider-Man. So
Yeah, well, when
they're going
solo movie of hers comes out.
I guess 102. Yeah, something to talk about there on 102. So a huge box set for the Avengers. Of course, I question some of the stories that they are including in here, but and also I question the price at $500.
Dude, just get two.
Yeah, you take cash.
I do.
So you've got some of the early Lee Kirby stuff. You've got the Kree Skull War, Avengers Defenders War. So not even all these are like strictly Avengers books. So that Avengers Defender was in actually in the Defenders, if I remember right. Something fairly recent with that, the Final Host. Yeah, so Under Siege, which is some people regard as like the best Avengers story ever. I thought it was pretty good, but I wouldn't go that far with it. But it just seems a little pricey to me.
Well, they've done this before though. They've done this a few times now, so they must be selling enough of them to just make it worthwhile. So, but yeah, it is. That's pretty steep.
And I guess and I think maybe the Kree Skrull War is in here someplace else, but. If I had to guess where the Marvel Cinematic might go next, that might be a good spot, to go moving forward.
Got Forever in here, don't they?
Yes, I think
Avengers Forever. That. Yeah, there it is. So that's in there too. That's a good story.
I have that in my to-read pile.
On 105, we've got How to Paint Characters the Marvel Studios Way, which I don't know how much is this tutorial, how much this is just art book. I wouldn't mind having a nice collection of the concept art, but I don't know if I need a tutorial on how to do concept art with a Wacom tablet or something.
Wouldn't the concept art just be the comic books?
There's that.
True.
But I think this is by the guys who do the actual concept art for the movies and stuff like those designs and things.
Page 108, we have decades. Then it's like Marvel in the 40s, and each subsequent month there's going to be 50s, 60s, 70s. I assume that they will continue on. So in the 40s, we get some reprints of some Human Torch Submariner stories. I don't know if a lot of people have read like some of the first, like the Marvel Comics #1, like reprints or anything, but those stories are actually pretty brutal. I mean, you have the Submariner just like pulling people out of a submarine and just letting them die, and nobody really, don't think a whole lot about that.
Well, that's the thing about just Golden Age stuff in particular. For a while there, all this stuff is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
People don't pick up on that anymore. Like, just reading old Dick Tracy reprints. Like, it's cartoony, but they're showing exit and entry wounds. You know what I mean? In these gunfights and stuff. Stuff you couldn't do nowadays. But yeah, I mean, this is a series I'm kind of interested in. Like I haven't read a lot of the old Golden Age Marvel stuff. This might be something cool to pick up, just to have.
And it surprised me that they wouldn't reprint Marvel Comics #1 in this. So it starts like issues 7 and 10, and then Human Torch was at 58. Well, see,
it says 5B in mine.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I don't know if that's a typo, or I can't imagine there were two versions of that issue back in the day.
Well, and they may have just forgotten the number. And you hear that every once in a while in the Golden Age, they forgot what issue number they were on. And just throw out another issue with the same number or whatever. So
it could be that. Yeah. But yeah, it does seem like a weird collection. But again, is that other stuff readily available in trades already? Or
I don't know. So I mean, they do reprint the first issue periodically.
Yeah.
So I've seen,
But yeah, you figured that would be here.
Yeah.
So
I think they did one of those. When they were doing the Marvel Masterwork stuff, but they were in the soft cover with the painted covers. I think they did like Marvel the Golden Age or something like that. Yeah. So I think you got all that stuff there.
Yeah.
Or not all of it, but
some of the collections seem a little odd. Like the Captain America one for the 50s, I can understand, but like the 60s is like Spider-Man where he meets everybody else in the. It looks like it anyway. It's gonna be where he meets like all the other teams, meets the Avengers, meets the Fantastic Four, meets all the other groups. The monsters for the 70s looks like it might be pretty cool. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they include in these other volumes of this.
I got nothing until 120.
On 111, we have Star Wars Darth Vader, Volume 4, collecting the issue we just talked about a couple minutes ago with number 25. So, but again, this doesn't come out until January, so. But yeah, you won't have to wait long on a trade on that.
So on 113, is this Spider-Punk? Is that a big deal?
I don't know. It's just one of a myriad of new characters they introduced for this Spider-Geddon.
I feel like it's a unique look, though, among them, too. And maybe it stands out a little more. So I wonder if maybe that's why they kind of feature him a little more prominently than some of the others.
Right.
I think you definitely know that Spider-Punk when you see it, as opposed to some of the other.
And the kind of a, almost like a Union Jack look to the costume. Yeah. It's kind of weird looking.
I think there is one with a Union Jack though too, isn't there?
Oh, is there?
I think I think there was, but again,
I think you've got Peter Porker in there, then you might as well throw in something else crazy. Yeah. Page 120. We mentioned this before so if you don't want to spend $500 to get this, you can get just the Avengers Kree Skrull War trade paperback, new printing of that classic story. And again, it's something that could happen in MCU. So if you want to kind of maybe beat him to the punch on that.
On 135, we have What If Classic, the Complete Collection, Volume 1, kind of reprinting the original series of What If. I think it's issues 1 through 12. I think it went longer than that, right?
Oh, it went a lot longer.
Yeah, that went on for a while, I thought.
And it had multiple. They had like 3 volumes of that.
Yeah.
And you can get that does include the What If Jane Foster had gotten the hammer,
right.
So that was like that first Jane Foster Thor. That's all I have for Marvel. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe we should talk about 140 a little bit. 140, 141.
Yeah. So Marvel's getting Conan again in January, even though it's on the cover of this month's previews catalog. So we have a Conan #1, the new volume poster,
right?
Which says it's out in December. Even though I thought they weren't supposed to get the license till January, so I don't know if they're jumping the gun, if they're fine with that. But there's also the Marvel graphic comic box of Conan #1 featuring the art on both sides.
Is that a Barry Windsor Smith on the other side?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, looks like Barry Windsor Smith, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know who else that would be. Why wouldn't you with their old Conan stuff?
Yeah.
So,
but and then we've got the omnibuses.
Omnibuses.
So if you want to get your box to collect this new run of Conan, then go ahead and order that, so it'll be ready when they do release it. Play the poster game. Do you need to play the poster game again this month?
I think, is this number 3?
I think it's
third time.
Yeah.
Where we see, now there's only 4 posters 5 posters I think altogether, but they show them all here.
Yeah.
So we have the Conan one, we have the John Byrne that we talked about earlier, the big one.
Vinyl one, yeah.
And then we have 3 other posters here, so we see them all. Send Marvel a no prize.
Yeah.
Email them a no prize.
These days.
So moving on to the big book. Big book.
On the print side, Foist.
Side 1. Page 28. Don't forget to get your own copy of previews.
Yep. Do
Have
it.
that. Do you want to talk anything about what you're doing for Halloween?
You're doing the Halloween books.
Yeah,
too, by the way.
for the day. You're doing something during the day, right?
Well, we'll be here.
Yeah. Okay. So it'll be open. Right?
Yeah, it'll be open, but yeah, I mean, other than that, not really. Doing.
Oh, okay.
Not going to have much of the books in or anything. So.
Page image, right? Yeah. So page 40. So Die #1. So we basically got a group of adults that are reliving some event from their Dungeons and Dragons days several years later. Karen Gillan's usually a pretty solid writer, so I think I'm going to give this one a shot.
Pick that up, huh?
Yep.
On page 44 from Mark Millar and Raphael Albuquerque, we've got Prodigy #1. Looks like it's a mini-series they're doing. I would assume this ties into the Netflix deal he has, but I don't think it mentions it anywhere on here. But again, here's a new book from them.
Well, didn't they buy his whole studio?
Yeah, like his
something?
Miller World.
Yeah.
So I would assume it's associated with that. So get it now, and then you can complain about the TV show in a couple years.
Page 46, we've got Freeze #1. So apparently the story premise here is everybody else in the world is frozen, not like by ice frozen, but and then you are the one person who has the power to unfreeze people. So
if
only, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm into the premise, regardless of how it gets implemented. Right. But I do like the premise here.
Sounds like someone took their freeze tag game as a kid too far. On page 53, we have Spawn Kills Everyone 2, #1, which I didn't know there was a Spawn Kills Everyone 1, but here it is. I thought for a second, on first glance, this was a Scotty Young cover. Exactly. It's Todd McFarlane, though. So, and there's a bloody variant, too, you can pick up of that.
Page 60? Anything for 60?
I don't think so.
Okay, no. So page 60, we have the Stellar trade paperback. So if you are looking for some pretty good art, Brett Blevins and a sci-fi environment, and this collects issues 1 through 6. I'm not sure if that's the complete story or just the first story arc, on that series, but it is let's see, I thought it was an advanced solicit, so that's not coming out until January. But get your order in for the trade there if you're interested.
Page 78. I don't know if anybody has anything before that.
I'm 106.
We've got Mage, the Hero Denied, number 14 of 15. So that means we're kind of coming in on the home stretch on Mage, and I'm going to be bummed out when this ends.
Because that's it, right?
Yeah, because he said before that he's just doing the 3, and that it's called the Hero Denied for a reason. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how this wraps up. I think that's it for me with Image.
Yeah, I think I'm in. I don't know, is it Dark Horse, whatever 106 is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm over to Dark Horse as well. So
okay.
106 Dark Horse, Alien 3, second issue. William Gibson, I'm in. So I like him as a writer. I'm going to continue to pick this one up. Hopefully it'll be good. It's going to be almost completely done before I see the first issue, but oh well, I'll risk it.
On page 119, we've got the second issue of the God of War comic book. With a cover by E.M. Geist, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but we see an all-black cover here with the note, cover art not final. I really hope it's not final. I hope we get a cover on this book. I don't know if they're pulling a Solar number 10 here or what, but kind of hope there's something in there. I think that's it for me with Dark Horse. If you guys have anything.
My next thing's 145, so okay. I don't know what that's in IDW, I
think
guess.
So, yeah. I think that's what I got too, so okay, that's where we're at.
All right, so I was wrong, right? So we had our Rocketeer tease last time. I would have bet money it was for a reprint of the Dave Stevens what is it, Artist Edition. Right. Mm-hmm. But we actually have a new Rocketeer series, Rocketeer Reborn. It's not going to be the same without Dave Stevens art, so I'm just going to go there. I'm going to give it a shot, but yeah, I'm going to miss the Dave Stevens art. It looks like it's being brought into the current day. They say it's like 80 years later they refined the rocket. So
okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what to think about that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like if you have a good enough concept, you could pull it off.
Oh, yeah.
But do they?
Yeah,
is the other thing. And again, it's the thing of he's not a character from the 40s, but he is of the 40s.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like, how do you progress with those characters? With the flip side of that being, you have characters who are stuck in that time period, like the Shadow and Green Hornet and things like that, and the Phantom sort of. It's like, how do you make those characters relevant today? How do you keep these kind of franchises going? I think at some point you have to.
Yeah, we've complained like with Batman, where they didn't do it because we can't do anything with that character anymore.
Yeah.
Well, here they're doing something better different with the character, not better, different with the character, and maybe it'll work. So I'm hopeful. I'm picking it up. I'm hopeful that it'll work.
I'm definitely going to check it out.
But when I look at this cover art and like you compare it to like the I guess I don't know if that's actually Dave Stevens variant cover or just an homage.
Right.
It doesn't look like Dave Stevens because of the expression on the face, but it's more that style when you look at the two styles.
That's the retailer incentive. That's the Elsa Chartier, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
On there.
So.
Yeah, I think she's been doing some of the Star Wars Adventures stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
yeah, it's good art. Javier Pulido doing the art and the other cover. He's a good artist. Yeah. I think we'll have something good here. Just not what we all wish we could have, which we're never going to have again. That's the other part of that.
That's the downside of that. So.
Yep.
On 147, we have Transformers Historia, which looks like it's a sort of a everything you need to know about the IDW Transformers run, which is wrapped up now. So I assume that means they're going to have something else coming, or else why recap what they've been doing all these years?
Do they still have the license? They didn't lose the license, did they?
It doesn't seem like it. I don't know. We'll find out pretty soon. I would imagine next issue of the catalog, if anything. Because they also have this Bumblebee thing going on too. I don't know. Okay, this is a one shot, I guess, too. After that, but there's that movie coming out.
Right.
And I guess we should mention that we did switch to IDW. We're in IDW now.
And I think that's it for me.
Yeah, my next thing's on page 200. So.
Okay.
I'm way back.
Well, on 194 in Dynamite, we have the Vampirella Arthur Adams bust, black and white artist proof, and it's like a Vampirella bust. Not that that's not redundant, but what I thought was interesting down here, they have only 99 made.
Whoa.
So it's a pretty limited statue. If you want to get it, it's only $100 according to this.
And that's the introductory price.
Yeah.
So they're not. I guess they're even at 99. They're not anticipating a sellout.
Yeah. Seems kind of that you would assume they would go through that in that run,
right.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
On 196, again from Dynamite, we have the Dynamite Holiday Gift Box. And so this looks like a Red Sonja graphic comic like short box. And it comes with Red Sonja trade, a Kevin Smith's Green Hornet trade, Shadow 1941 hardcover. Oh, no, the Green Hornet's a hardcover, too. And it says 7 other exciting Dynamite collections. I assume that means they're clearing out the warehouse.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, this is something in time for Christmas. If you got a fan who's maybe just getting into comics, there might be some good stuff in here for them.
10 trades, $50 in a box.
Yeah.
That's not a bad deal.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's not a bad deal. All right, even though I'm going to be mocked for it, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Boom, and we do have Firefly #2 being solicited.
Oh,
this
really?
month.
Did it get canceled yet?
Yeah, not yet. So Greg Pak writing. And then also, if you missed all the Dark Horse stuff on page 201, they have Firefly Legacy Edition Book 2, which has several complete stories in it as well, including the Warrior and the Wind one-shot that was post-movie story there.
I don't have anything till 234.
Well, okay, so 232. Again, I've said this book several times, and every time they solicit a new version, I'm going to mention it. We've got the Rachel Rising Omnibus. This is one of the best supernatural stories I have ever read. So you can get the whole thing in one soft cover. Definitely worth your time.
On 234, we have, and I didn't realize what this was until the SalukiCon a couple weeks ago, is this show Miraculous, which I guess is about like a little girl superhero or something. There was a lot of girls running around with somebody was selling balloons of this character at the con, and I've kind of seen that now and then, but didn't know what it was. And so one of our customers explained to me that I guess it's a Netflix show about a superhero. So little girls really like it. It looks like so. Maybe check that out. We have a Christmas special of the character coming out.
I'm not till 279.
Okay, on 250. We have The Wrong Earth #4, and this is a new book that's come out. First issue was really strong. The second issue came out today, and it's sold out, right, Mike?
Yes,
we are sold out. I didn't even get a copy of that.
I know, yeah.
So it's a good book to check out. But again, it's why you tell people what you want. Let us know.
All
Create a pull list.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're here to help. We're here to help.
We are.
Yeah.
So right next to that is the.
Would you like me to stop cutting you off?
No, you're good. You're good, man. You got more to say than me.
Really, I can keep going. No. Sorry.
But the latest offering from Albatross Funny Books, which is Eric Powell's imprint, which is Mega Ghost #1, a couple of covers, and Eric Powell, surprise, does one of the covers. His art is always worth checking out, and usually the content is too, usually for, if nothing more than a chuckle. The Spook House book is coming out again. It's a lot of fun. It's scary stories for little kids, so it's an age-appropriate, quote-unquote, horror stories, that are pretty fun.
And just announced today, he's bringing back Goon next year under the Albatross label.
Yep.
It'll be the 20th anniversary of the Goon. Sounds like he's getting serious about putting it out on a regular basis. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
For sure.
On 259 from Antarctic, we have Turnbuckle Titans #1, Nikolai Volkov. So it looks like this is it says authorized biography of the late wrestler Nikolai Volkov. Could be kind of interesting. See where they go with that, and if there's it's going to be a series of other biographies and things. Maybe might be cool to check out. Old wrestlers always have good stories.
I just looked up from that and noticed the riff on Hulk 181 of Trump versus Barack Panther.
On 289 from Coffin Comics, we have some new Lady Death books. What I thought was interesting was they have their variants, but then there's a Bombshell edition variant for Lady Death.
Okay.
Which I'm like, okay, if you like the Bombshells and things like that, maybe check it out.
Back on 279, they have hardcover. These have been solicited before. They're actually coming from Bantam. I think it was IDW who did this story originally. Has really nice Tommy Patterson artwork. So this is volumes 3 and 4, which wraps up the first book in comic form. So those were good. For me, watching the series, some things came out in this that I had missed. Some of the symbolism, kind of seeing it put a little bit more clearly before you, helped a little bit. So fans of Game of Thrones might actually want to pick that up.
What did I? Oh, so I don't follow Game of Thrones or anything. I just saw a headline today talking about filming the new season and how HBO has deployed drone killers so they don't get drones flying over the sets and stuff like that, I guess. So they're serious about no spoilers on that show. On 324,
well, 295. In case you missed your chance to pick up the Black Label Batman book, now it'd be interesting to see if Dynamite Forces will honor this or not. But they have a signed copy, so the variant signed by Brian Azzarello. They're soliciting it for $70. And they're also soliciting a signed copy by Jim Lee for $300.
And that's the cover that Jim Lee did.
And that's the cover that Jim Lee did. So both of these are the Jim Lee cover.
Yeah.
So Brian Azzarello signs one, Jim Lee signs the other. $70 or $300. Now, the price in this book started dropping a little bit, but I mean, there were people paying more than $70 for just a raw copy to get one signed with a COA. If Dynamite Forces will honor it, you can put in an order and cross your fingers, and maybe you will get it.
Have they bait and switched on that before, or
I don't know.
There's simply just stuff they've never released.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They've said that, and then for whatever reason or another, they'll just cancel it.
Yeah. Well, I would think this. They knew that had a limited run to begin with. That they probably had some issues set aside for that purpose. You would think so.
Right.
My suspicion is they'll just raise the price, but and maybe it'll be much more limited because these are always what's the term I'm looking for? Where they're limited,
made to order.
No, where a company is not necessarily going to get their full order.
Oh, right,
allocated. Thank you. English is hard.
Right.
Yeah.
They're allocated, so you may not get it. Even if you order it because of allocations. So, and I think there'll probably be a lot of people trying to order this.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So, it may be a lottery to see who gets it if any is allocated. So,
324 from NBM. Looks like they're reprinting a lot of the Rick Geary specials from back. Oh man, the 90s maybe later than that. But we have the Axeman of New Orleans, the Black Dahlia, Treasury of Victorian Murder Compendium, Volume 1. These are books I always mean to pick up and never get around to. But I really like Rick Geary's are. I'm sure these are good books.
What page was that?
324. So, and they've been released before, but it might be something I keep my eye on out for now.
Oh, okay. My next thing's not till 356. So.
I don't have anything until 342.
Well, then that's you.
So here we have the Mall number 5. This only stood out for me. I think they had a free comic book day thing this year, but I just saw where I guess this has got picked up for a TV show or something like that. So it's pretty under the radar right now. So if you want to check these out, now's probably the time to do it before it becomes a show and the prices jack up. But again, I keep seeing it sort of advertised as a cross between Sopranos and the Breakfast Club. I don't know what that means, but that's how they keep promoting this book. It might be good. Something fun to check out. On 347, we have the Stan Lee story deluxe edition, which I'm like, maybe I'll get this. Until I look down and see, this is more than my first 2 cars were. Yeah. So it comes in a slipcase, nice cover, $1,500.
Wow.
Is it signed or anything? Okay, collector's edition, 1,000 numbered copies, signed by Stan Lee.
Reprints of Stan's hits and coveted.
I mean, I don't know what justifies that cost.
Well, apparently there are photos that have not been seen anyplace else. Of course, that won't last much after this being released.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And it's previously solicited.
Yeah, I mean, if it is handwritten by Stan Lee, that's one thing. Yeah. I mean, the signature's nice, but I can't see, unless that's a type. Maybe that's like the Hulkbuster statue last month. Maybe it's a typo till we hear otherwise.
Was that a typo? Was that a typo?
I haven't seen anything yet on it.
Yeah.
You can only hope.
On a 363 from Tomorrow's, we have Jack Kirby's Captain Victory Graphite Edition, where it looks like they are publishing that story with Kirby's pencils.
Yes, they did this once before with Silver Star.
Oh, did they? How was that?
It looked really, really nice. Yeah. I had that, read it. I actually even enjoyed the story. It's kind of it's kind of like a mutants takeoff, in that story. So I'm actually looking forward to reading this. I think Kirby, a lot of times, the pencils look better than when somebody inks them.
Yeah, and Jack Kirby Collector always kind of publishes that art in the magazine. It's always really nice. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you like Jack Kirby and you haven't checked out that magazine before, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Now, this is only, I know Captain Victory was more than 52 pages of the whole run, so I guess this is just like maybe 1 or 2 issues. They don't say, like, how
Well, I wonder if
long.
this is the first issue or something, maybe, because it also says includes his unused Captain Victory screenplay. So that's going to be part of the book, too.
Okay, that explains the extra page count there.
And it
I
says
couldn't figure out
an historical overview to put it in perspective and more. So there's probably some filler stuff, extra materials in there.
I'm getting this based on the Silver Star. I wish they would have just done the entire series
Really?
and put it in a hardback. If they do that at some point in the future, then I will go ahead and buy that as well. But I am looking forward to that. I think it's going to be cool. It's a story that I have those comic books and I've skimmed them, but the idea of seeing them in pencil instead of is very appealing to me. Backing up to 356, 13th Doctor premiered last weekend. So on BBC America, not a bad first episode. So I mean, it didn't blow me away, but a lot of times it takes these actors a little while to get into the character and get in the groove with the character. So there were, in my mind, worse first appearances for the new character. I did have a thought though that what I want to see them do at some point in the future is, you get a new Doctor and then they do a lot of stupid stuff. I think it'd be great to get like some really big name celebrity to play the Doctor for like 1 or 2 episodes, and 2 episodes in they can die again, and then they can. But you don't have them like for like a 2 episode or maybe even like a like just a little cameo, right? Where they regenerate, then they fall to their death again all of a sudden. So you just see them falling, and then they regenerate again. It'd be kind of funny. But anyway, moving on. That's all I had from side 1. I'm done with side 1.
Well, on 410 in the manga section, we've got Akira 35th Anniversary Complete Box Set. So again, this is like a new collection of the Akira story. It says back in print, but not for long. I'm not sure what they mean by that.
Are you threatening me?
Yeah, but it seems like Akira's gonna be in print again. I don't know if they're losing the license maybe to reprint it over here. I'm not sure, but Akira's one of the big kind of milestones of the medium and everything. So. As far as the anime goes, if you're into that stuff, it's probably because of Akira. That's kind of the way in for a lot of people with that stuff. So we're flipping the book.
Flipping the book to the merchandise.
Yep. I don't have anything to 127, so you guys go for a while.
Well, on page 20, we've got the DC Comic Gallery Dark Knight's Red Death figure for $45. I really hope there's metallic paint on this.
I know.
To make such a big deal about metal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't really tell from this picture.
It doesn't really look like it, which is kind of disappointing.
And it's like $45. You could still give me some metallic paint.
Right, yeah.
Right after that, we have the next in the sort of Batman movie line. They were doing the DC Movie Gallery, Dark Knight Rises Bane, which is Bane standing on the top of the camo tumbler. Mm-hmm. And up page 23.
Yay. I can't tell you how many times I ordered this and it always got canceled. Was just the second issue of the Shakespeare Bust Vinyl Bank, the Shakespeare Bust from the classic Batman TV show. It's 1-to-1 scale. We've had them in here before. It's a great looking piece, and we've talked about it before because Clyde and Virginia Hall used it to cosplay as Alfred and Aunt Harriet, and they were in the store for Batman Day, so I'm really glad to see this. And I will be getting one of these and keeping one. Yeah, I want one this time. I want to keep it.
Yeah, on page 27, these were in the DC catalog too, but we've got some statues for the upcoming Aquaman movie. Mm-hmm. There's a nice Black Manta. I really like this design of the Black Manta suit in here. I don't know how it's going to be in the movie yet, or if I'll like it or not, but I really like this design they've come up with. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is Super Friends Black Manta. There's no
giant helmet.
There's no confusion over who this character is. They didn't do a 90s thing where it's a thug named Black Manta, nickname in a trench coat. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is Black Manta.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that you saw the 5-minute trailer and we talked about that. Yeah. It looked really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
On page 36, we have this line of Batman action figures, which here they're calling night missions. I think it just says Batman missions on the box. I've seen some video reviews of these figures, and they look pretty nice. I haven't seen any in person yet. But there's like a big assortment of these coming out. It's just more basic, a little more affordable action figures, and figures have gotten so expensive the last few years.
Sure. Page 47, kind of something I may be picking up for the movie room, is it's in the Marvel Legends line. Same line that did the Infinity Gauntlet. It's the Black Panther movie version of the gear helmet. So that could be pretty cool. Because the other one I want is, I still see it from time to time. Next time I see it, I'll probably grab it. It's the Darth Vader helmet. And that was of course not in the Marvel Legends, but it was in their black line. So
again, why wasn't this out when the movie came out?
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
What did I do? Oh, on 49, we've got Masters of the Universe muscle figures. So kind of combining two great 80s toy lines together. I think, these are Super 7. I think some of these may have been released through their online store or something before, but just kind of neat old school kind of little action figures.
Gotcha.
On page 51, if you need a statue of Worf scratching his back.
I know, right? I was totally going to say that.
I
was
sorry,
like, that's fine.
I just noticed that.
Yeah, no. He's getting ready to attack with his bat lift, I think is technically what's going on. If that were turned around, though, he's totally scratching his back with it. And don't act like he wouldn't. So I'm not the only one that thought that.
Just looking at the Pops real quick, the only one that really caught my eye that's a must-have for me in this catalog is on page 58. We're getting a black and white version of the Alfred Hitchcock vinyl pop, and he's holding the clapboard for Psycho, so I'm going to have to get that one.
On 65 with the Pops, we have the Marvel Captain America versus Red Skull, which is like a 2-pack of them kind of facing off. I thought it was pretty cool. It's the movie versions of that.
3 different prints Pops too.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get the Purple Rain one, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right before that, on page 64, this is a new line that Funko is doing called Savage World, where they're taking different properties and doing sort of 80s Masters of the Universe, Remco-style action figures. And here are the horror assortment they're doing with Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers, Leatherface, and Pinhead. And they're really kind of buff, bulky, stout figures. There's some cool different designs they're doing with this, just real sort of barbarian-style kind of figures. They did some Mortal Kombat figures like this a while back that were pretty nice, really good quality. And again, what are they here? So these are $13 here. So again, pretty affordable for an action figure anymore in 2018. They also announced, it's not in the catalog yet, but the DC Primal Age line they're doing, which is a similar thing, and it's a subset they're doing with DC. And they've got 8 figures right out of the gate. They have 2 Beasts and a Batcave Castle Grayskull style playset that they're going to be releasing. So they definitely have some plans. I know there's some Thundercats figures too, which I think are coming out pretty soon too in that style that look pretty nice. So I think there's a lot of potential for those figures in that line. On 87 we have, what are they calling this? Dire Mansion 150 figure dioramas. Looks like just sort of like little sort of sets for your figures to display them on. They have some different settings here that look kind of neat. $30 though, I don't know. That seems a little high for that, but and I'm not sure if it says what scale this is. So I can't really see how. I couldn't tell where they list the size of these things, but it looks kind of neat. Might be a different way to kind of display your action figures and things. Right after that, on page 88, we have the Cowboy Bebop Spike Spiegel statue, which is a cool statue of Spike from Cowboy Bebop, but it's $385. And I'm like, that's pretty steep. It is, but it is a 20.5-inch tall statue, but still seems pretty high.
Right. Yeah, I noticed that. Throwing back. I passed it up back on page 71. I'm not a huge Disney person, but I will probably pick this up. It's 1/4 scale classic 90th anniversary tuxedo Mickey. It's just like to have one Disney piece maybe in my movie room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the classic Mickey Mouse. But it's like $169, which is half of that price. And this is, what's it say? I know it's 1/4 scale. It says
quarter scale of a mouse. Then I think, right?
Anthropomorphic mouse. Anyway.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So I don't know, but if it's like that Donald, that's up on the case up there, which I imagine it is, it's probably 14, 15 inches tall. So I'll probably be picking one of those up.
Let's see, on page 100 is the Hellboy standard version 1/12 scale action figure. This looks like a pretty nice Hellboy action figure. It's a little pricier too, $105, but it looks like there's a jacket, couple different heads, and some alternate that's left hands for him.
Yeah, and that's a poor placement of the tail in that picture as well.
Yeah. I don't see what you would mean by that. Staging. You want to show the figure, but
okay.
Yeah.
On 103, we have Transformers Convoy, aka Optimus Prime figure. This is a really kind of cool sort of anime style Optimus Prime figure. It is also $350. So it looks pretty nice, but I will probably be passing on that in favor of my masterpiece I already own. Let's see. On 112, we have the Welcome to Wakanda doormat. Again, should have been out a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also an Attack the Block glow-in-the-dark soundtrack LP coming out. I thought that was kind of neat. The soundtrack for that movie just on a glow-in-the-dark vinyl, looks like. I'm not sure how that'll play, but somebody will find out. On 119, we have the Star Trek Tribble keychain. I mean, you'll know it's a Tribble.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else will.
Everybody sees it gets a hairball.
But the likeness is amazing.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Then I don't have anything till the game section.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's 127 in the games. So
yeah.
So 127, we have a Hellboy board game. So, and it actually, one thing that's nice, it's 1 to 4 players. So, it's co-op. I think it's a co-op game. So based on the Hellboy with the movie coming up, obviously there's going to be a lot more Hellboy merchandise coming out. So something to take a look at.
Was there a trailer for that at New York or anything?
I don't know. There was the poster. I've seen the poster.
Yeah. But they made a big deal. They were going to New York, and I kept expecting a trailer, and I don't think I saw anything. Did you guys?
No, I didn't.
I didn't go looking for it either.
Right.
So.
Well,
it seems like it would have popped up.
Yeah, a new Hellboy trailer with David Harbour. You think that's gonna get some buzz?
I mean, he might be fine as Hellboy, but I still think Ron Perlman is the definitive.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want Ron Perlman just about everything, though. So there's that. Right. On 128, we have the Bob's Burgers Clue game coming out. So if you want to play Clue with the family of Bob's Burgers, you can do that. Here's the second EarthX reference of the podcast. Is we've got the new HeroClix set of EarthX coming out. I really like this story. I used to play HeroClix. I'm not sure about the timing of this.
Right.
Seems like something they should have done a while back.
Well, personally, I think that the game is kind of fading on its way out. And so probably what they're doing now is probably sending some pretty powerful, overpowered figures your way to kind of revive it or basically get the last grab. That's my guess. The last grab at their money.
Do you think we get a Franklin Richards Galactus in that set?
That I don't know. So
that's something I would have liked to have back in the day.
Page 130 and 131. With it, this stuff coming out in December. So we have some beanies. So you got like Iron Fist, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Hawkeye symbol, Hydra, some DC 1 Star, Gotham City Police, Red Hood. So if you're needing a beanie for January, February, March, probably not so much March, pick one up.
Well, who knows? It's pretty warm still in October as we're recording this. Who knows what this is going to be? On 136, we have the RoboCop Omni Consumer Products logo T-shirt. So if you're down with OCP, you can pick up that shirt. And I think that's the last thing I have.
That's it. So catalog. Blank cover roundup for this catalog. You got the Batman Who Laughs, Batman the Outsiders, Martian Manhunter, X-Force, Hack and Slash versus Chaos, Livewire 1, Prodigy 1 has a blank. A couple of Stargate Atlantis books have one. Not a whole lot of blanks this month that I saw, but and I will mention that Mike has on the shelf several of the 24-page sketchbooks for Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So
and only $3 for those books.
Yeah.
And
24 pages for sketches.
Friend of the store, Matt Speroni, pointed out the other day, that's cheaper than a sketchbook. Mm-hmm. So, if, and it's nicer quality paper and stuff.
Yeah, so they're pretty cool. You need to grab one if you haven't already.
All right. Will that do it?
I think so. That does it.
Well, again, thanks for joining us for our monthly trip through the previews catalog and all the merchandise that's going to be upcoming and available from Diamond Comics. Again, this is the October previews for product that starts shipping in December and beyond, as we've mentioned periodically throughout the podcast. Again, if you heard anything that sounds interesting, give us a call. Cutoff date for my order is October 25th, and believe me, I can get it in under that because I never submit these orders early. Believe me. So right up to the last minute, we're submitting it. So give us a call or at the store at 618-457-6011. You could message us on Facebook at Campus Comics. That's give our page a like, follow us. See what we got going in the store and, where we're going to be. Stop in and see us, pick up your own previews, do whatever here at 816 East Main Street in Carbondale. And come out and see us this weekend at the Paducah's Galaxy of Heroes Con. And hopefully talk to some of you there. So that's my info, Scott.
All right. So you can find me at burgcomics.com, burgcomics.com. There I've got links to my eBay store and Facebook page, et cetera, et cetera.
And Dan Brown, you can find me online at Detective651 on Twitter, WordPress, and DeviantArt. Right now on my Twitter account, I'm participating in this year's Inktober, so every day I'm posting a new drawing on there. Look at it and don't like it like everybody else is doing so far.
But at least look at it.
Yeah, at least check it out.
I've liked one or two of them.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And check out my WordPress right now. I'm about getting to halfway through 31 Halloween comics for October. So nice. Every day I'm looking at another Halloween-appropriate comic book. Not necessarily Halloween specials and things like that, but scary, fun stories to kind of read for the Halloween season. So be sure to check those out and come by the store Saturday and say hi when I'm here by myself.
Right. Make sure he's doing all right. He'll be fine.
Deep discounts on cash purchases.
Cat's away.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks for listening in, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.